say, can you see by the dawn's
Welcome to a very special edition of Military Makeover, coming to you from a very sunny Miami Beach, Florida. I'm kidding, it is pouring rain, but we are here for the National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai for the Air and Sea Show right here in Miami Beach. So let's go check it out. We're here at the National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai, to pay tribute to the nation's military heroes. It's a spectacular event that showcases the men and women, technology, and equipment from all 5 branches of the U.S. military, as well as our firefighter and first responder agencies. On today's show, we're going to have the opportunity to meet the future of America's armed forces and catch the largest air and sea show in the nation.
The whole Air and Sea Show presented by Hyundai is a 2-day spectacular. It's an extravaganza that showcases all the newest state-of-the-art technology of all 5 branches of our military, as well as our first responder agencies.
We invited 2 veteran families who are in for a big surprise. They've been chosen to receive a military makeover home renovation and have no idea what's in store for them. Usually on Memorial Day in Miami Beach, it's beaches, bikinis, fun, and sun. But today, they're experiencing what we call a tropical storm. But that doesn't stop Military Makeover or the U.S. military.
You know, I don't know what the weather's going to look like, but my belief is any day you have freedom, you have sunlight. And it's a great day and a beautiful day.
Visitors from all across America have traveled to Miami Beach to be treated to an upfront and very personal look at America's armed forces and say thank you to the servicemen and women, as well as the future warriors who will be dedicating their lives to protecting our freedom and liberty.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's great to be back here in Miami again and to be able to enlist some fantastic young Americans into our armed forces. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. So help me God. Congratulations.
With taking the oath of enlistment, over 500 young men and women have just become U.S. soldiers, like so many before them.
Your selfless sacrifice to serve and protect our nation is unbelievable, and a sacrifice and a heroic act that is only led by your example.
Make sure we remember why Memorial Day is here. It is to recognize those that have lost their lives serving our nation. Everybody that is making this happen, you're doing something wonderful for this country.
But this weekend, it's more than just about speeches. It's about getting to see our armed forces in action and to see the tools they use to keep us safe. We'll be right back after this short break. Military Makeover is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Welcome back to the National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. This weekend also sees 500 cadets who've stepped up to the plate to serve this country and have volunteered to join one of the 5 branches of America's armed forces. The U.S. military is one of the largest organizations in the world, and to keep it running smoothly requires people with dedication, patriotism, and skill.
The people that came before you that gave the ultimate sacrifice are seeing you and looking and saying this country is safe. And to a person like me, I only am extremely proud.
Major General Jeffrey Snow has been in command of the U.S. Army's recruiting since 2015. And with over 34 years of military experience, he knows a thing or two about the U.S. Army.
I think there's a perception out there that anybody that joins the Army, they're going to be handed a rifle, they're going to find themselves in Iraq and Afghanistan. And in fact, by our very mission, it is to fight and win the nation's wars. However, they'd be surprised to know that 99% of the occupations in the civilian industry are also represented in the Army. I mean, we have 150 different specialties. And so what I would encourage them to do is just explore those opportunities. There's no catch. We're not interested in co-opting young men and women. We just like them to learn more about those opportunities.
What does the public need to know as far as civilians wanting to help veterans? What are the simple things?
There's a lot of folks that will stop us and say, hey, thanks for your service. But they don't really know what that service entails. And so I think having a little bit more in-depth conversation about find out what those individuals did, the opportunity to volunteer to help in various organizations, whether it's yours or others that actually are committed to helping veterans, I think it's pretty neat.
Time to meet the next generation of our armed forces. This is U.S. Army recruit Cody.
What is your overall game plan for your career in the military?
What I plan on doing is I want to go into the military, and then after 2 years, I plan on getting my education up to a master's degree in computer science so that I can further my education. And then when I end up getting out of the military, I have that experience.
And what's the most challenging thing?
The physical aspect of it is I would think more difficult aspect of it for me.
Do you find that the physical also enhances your mental strength and capacity as well?
Yeah, of course. When you have the mental aptitude, the only real thing that's stopping you is you. So if you have the mental fortitude, you can get the physical aspect done no matter what.
With that kind of attitude, the future looks bright for the U.S. Army. 14.5% of the United States Armed Forces are women. Brisa is a young and determined Navy recruit from Miami Beach, Florida.
As a female, especially being short, as I do and as other females do, we show them and we prove to the others that we can do as much as they can do and sometimes even more.
Where do you hope to take this in the future? How long do you want to stay in the Navy?
I'm planning on doing the 20 years and retiring and then working in a hospital, ER. They give so many opportunities that why not take the most you can?
Today's event brings us a look at the work, dedication, and skill of the American servicemen. It also gives the public a very rare close-up look at the U.S. military's equipment that would not have been possible without the help from events and sponsors.
Well, the National Salute to America's Heroes presented by Hyundai was designed to be able to say thanks to the men and women of our military, our first responders, our veterans, and those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our freedom. Freedom isn't free. And this is an opportunity to say thank you. There's no better time than Memorial Day weekend to say thanks to those people that protect our freedom.
This Air and Sea Show is sponsored by Hyundai of South Korea, a country that has a very unique and special history with the United States and its armed forces.
How great is this that you're able to do this?
We're so proud to be able to be such an important part of this. We have something like the Macy's Day Parade in New York City, but what are we doing in this country for Memorial Day? And so that's what we're really trying to build here.
This Memorial Day weekend, we take this opportunity to reflect and remember all the brave heroes who sacrificed so much to keep America free and for serving as the shining beacon for the world. We thank you for your continuous friendship and support.
Why is it a good partnership with Hyundai and this event?
Well, going all the way back, the South Koreans have always been very, very instrumental. We are very important to them, and they are very important to us. It wasn't just a good marketing opportunity. There's good culture and history behind both of these countries.
When you dig a little bit deeper.
So it's even more powerful than most people think.
We'll be back to see more from Miami Beach, Florida's signature Memorial Day event, the National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. Not only does the public get an up-close and personal look at the mighty equipment the United States forces have on display, it's also a chance for them to catch up with the men and women who operate the gear. This is an F-35 single-seat, single-engine, all-stealth multi-role fighter, capable of breaking the sound barrier at a whopping 1.6 times the speed of sound. That's roughly 1,200 miles per hour. Not something to be messed around with.
Acceleration is intense, so when you light the afterburner, it probably feels like accelerating in a Ferrari initially, but the acceleration never tops out. So it'll just keep going, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, just keep going as you accelerate until you break the sound barrier and shatter all the glasses. So we're not gonna do that, to keep it below the sound barrier. There's a lot of intense acceleration when you turn really hard, you get pushed in your seat 9 times the force of gravity.
Now, to put that in perspective, at 9 times the force of gravity, a 200-pound person will weigh in at 1,800 pounds.
When it turns really hard, the moisture is going to fill in to try to take the place of the air that was just in that space.
Sure.
And it's going to make a whole cloud around the jet.
Initially established as part of the U.S. Army on August 1st, 1907, the United States Air Force did not become its own separate branch until September 18th, 1947, which makes it the youngest branch within the U.S. Armed Forces.
So incredible personnel flying incredible equipment.
Amazing people that get to work with amazing technology. They get to make a difference around the world. This venue, it allows us to take time to remember all those who've come before from World War II and Korea, Vietnam, all those 9/11s who gave their life so that we can do what we do today, as well as to meet some amazing folks from all across the country who are today defending our freedoms and connecting the American public.
Of course, firepower is a key component when it comes to U.S. military equipment, like this .50 caliber machine gun sitting on the edge of a search and rescue copter.
This side holds 600 rounds of 50 cal ammo. It shoots 600 to 800 rounds a minute. So basically less than a minute and they'll be out of ammo. And that's pretty much it.
Despite the rain, there's still a lot on display, like these intimidating weapons. I had to find out more.
So another cool thing about this weekend is we get to not only see some of the big machines, as you can hear flying overhead, but we also get to see some of the very cool munitions and weaponry that the United States Army and Armed Forces use. Show us some of this amazing armory and weaponry that we're sending you out into the field with now.
So right now, this is one of the things we're using in Afghanistan right now is a SCAR Heavy. It's a 7.62. And basically what this gives us a little bit more distance between us and the enemy.
Is there anything you'd say to an amateur or a firearms enthusiast out there?
Get the training before you pick up a firearm. It's the way accidents happen. Better the training you get, better you're going to be, and better and more safe you're going to be while handling a firearm.
We'll be back. This special edition of Military Makeover is coming to you from Miami Beach, Florida, where we're at the National Salute to America's Heroes Air and Sea Show presented by Hyundai. Our mission is to make a positive and life-changing impact on our veteran community. We achieve this by selecting deserving candidates and giving them a top-to-bottom complete home makeover. That's why we've invited unsuspecting U.S. Army veteran Casey Harrison and Air Force veteran Matthew Moyers, along with their wives, to this event. And they have no idea about the surprise that we have in store for them.
Tell us what it means to you guys if you were to be selected as the next recipient of Military Makeover.
It would mean a lot. Right now we are having some issues with Casey not being able to physically keep up the maintenance.
I can't be on my feet for very long at a time.
Right.
I stay away from ladders.
The Harrisons and Moyers are in the dark about having been selected as the next 2 recipients of the next 2 military makeovers. So revealing that little secret could lead to a lot of excitement.
Thank you for your service to our country through the Air Force. And what are you thinking about this, aside from the bad weather? Are you having a good time? You enjoying the hotel?
Having a blast. Loving it. And I'm not allowed to make decisions, so You might ask her most of the questions.
Okay. Well, I was talking to you about possibly coming in and doing military makeover in your home. What would that mean to you guys?
It'd be amazing. Truly humbling experience, honestly. I really don't know how to express even you guys just bringing us out here.
So that's it for another year here in Miami Beach. From the National Salute to America's Heroes, brought to you by Hyundai. We look forward to seeing you back in one of the world's most exciting destinations when Miami Beach hosts yet another bigger and better Air and Sea show to salute our heroes. From Military Makeover, we salute all the men and women who work tirelessly every day to ensure our freedom, protection, and liberty.